Yeah.
Come walk with me and say your feet and toes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
wonderful
said come
Ron
walk with me
Jackson, seven
and
string
say your
guitar
feet and
maestro.
toes.
Oh yeah.
Cause if I stop walking now,
Oh yeah.
they cut me up until I'm just a
For
nose.
sure, y'all. For sure.
Yeah,
Hey, y'all.
come walk with me
Thanks for coming on the walk.
and save your toes and
Or
feet.
get your mats if you're going to do some stretch
Yeah,
out. Get your
I
weights if
said
you're
come
going to do
walk with
some
me,
weight exercises.
save your
Get your chair
toes
if
and
you're going to do
feet.
some chair exercises. Stand up if you're walking in place. Line
Cause
up
when
if
you
you're
walk with
walking
me,
wall to wall. Jump
you
on
can
your
get
bikes.
what you
Start your treadmill.
need.
Yeah, y'all. I'm stiff
I'm
from the
walking, y'all,
weekend. Oh,
trying
yeah.
to save my feet and toes.
Yeah.
I said I'm
Yes.
walking now,
Hey, y'all.
trying to save my
Hey,
feet
y'all.
and toes.
Yeah. Ooh, don't knock over the camera, Buzz. Yeah, y'all. Thanks for coming on the walk with me, Vicky. And John, my moderator, is in the chat. Thanks for being here, John. Let's get this party started right. Oh, shoot. I didn't check the camera, Buzz. But let's see. Here we are. Yeah, y'all. I gotta take care of the recording camera. Yeah, y'all. Thanks for coming on the walk. Thank you, new subscribers. Thank you, old subscribers. Hey, John. Thank you for being here. Our moderator is in place. Our moderator is in place. Yes. So, let's get this walk started. Yeah, y'all know I'm stiff. Okay, here we are. Yes. When I was, our topic is, we used to ask ourselves one another that question all the time. What would you do if you were a slave? And I remember as kids in East New York, the boys would always say, run away. And the girls would run after them. And then as a teenager in East New York, walking to school with my friends, the question, what would you do if you was a slave, not enslaved, but a slave? And some people say I wouldn't want to live. And in me, I was like, I'm fighting. I'm fighting. There's no question of what I would do because I ain't doing that. I'm fighting with everything I have. And you see, like now, I'm throwing stones. And stones will be thrown back. But the stones that's thrown back at me is from the people who own the media companies, the social medias, and all the satellites and shit. And we don't got that. And then I'm an old lady walking on the treadmill that ain't supposed to be carrying that kind of knowledge around. So that's another thing. But no, I wasn't. I was like, it ain't happening. That question is not happening. So, here we are. Here we are. Here we are. And there's a whole enslavement book. Now, y'all don't see this enslavement. But let me break it down to you like that. Since ain't nobody here but what, me and John? Thank you, John. Let me break it down to you like this. World War One, World War Two, all those other things. That was the German people getting rid of the mixed race people, mixed race, African, Europeans. And the ones that they went after was the Hebrews. They was throwing them in ovens. Now, who was throwing them in ovens? The German Christians. That's who was enlightening them. So now, going back 100 or more years before then, they were doing the same thing. They were getting rid of the mixed race, which were the German Africans and the Russian Africans. They're still doing it. They want to control the whole thing. Now, that's when they ran over here for their religious freedom, as they call it. It was their right to show the African side of them, which is through their cults, both of them. So when they got over here, it was very little known about enslavement here because they didn't know anything. And this is back in the 1800s, 1700s. They didn't know anything. They found out when they got here. And they realized the cruelty, how they were so cruel on this penal colony to the black Africans. So, the Germans, they wanted the African cult, you call it religions, they wanted the Christianity, they wanted the Hebrew, but they didn't want to be labeled as enslaved or a slave. So then they went on their white thing. See, how do you prove that you have no African in you? Is to detest the black African. So what they started doing was, they started marrying and having children with one another to prove that they had no African blood in them. But they kept the religion. They kept the black African religion and cult. But they went around hating. Well, we hate black people. We hate African Americans. That means we white. Then let go to black African religion. But it's not. It's in your blood. The African is in your blood. But you feel if you step on the black Africans, enslave them or whatever you do, then that makes you white. So, I listened to that Alyssa Grimfeld, Germanfeld, and she was today talking about how there is no inbreeding in the Mormons. And I'm like, girl, because there were so many Europeans that came to the Midwest that we had. Know your history. You ran here because y'all was mixed race. And y'all was running out of Europe. And you ran here. And then you found out that the black African was being treated so horribly that you did not want any claims to that. So you kept the black African religion and started unlifing the black African. You don't marry them, you don't enter nothing, just with one another. So Alyssa, you go, and then she says, You can spot a Mormon because the Germans wanted to make you blue bloods. No melanin. That sun hit you, your ass fried. That's called 200 years or 2 centuries of inbreeding. Now, what you didn't know was that the mixed race people from the South was coming over to you. And you couldn't tell the difference. You couldn't tell. They wanted out of enslavement. And they went to you and infiltrated. And that's when the Joseph Smith and all them nasty men started cracking down on you. And you started the inbreeding. They just merged in. We call them passing. Because they couldn't understand how they had blonde hair and blue eyes and was still enslaved. Just the fact that everybody knew their mother was African a couple of generations ago, they couldn't understand why they had to stay in enslavement. So they ran their ass to the middle of America. What do you call that? Dakota, Montana, Utah, Idaho. They ran their ass up there. And then, how do you act white? You hate on blacks. And that's why they did that Mormon thing, because if you had anything to do with black people, you was the devil. Because they's the devil. And that's why you inbred. Uncles and cousins and stuff marrying. Your whole thing was to keep the African out. But the African was already there. That's why they came from Europe. So I'm going to tie that into this bullshit with the orange shit stain and them German people. Yes, they will enslave us. They unlike people who were mixed race, that was not even as dark as we were. They unliked them because they were mixed. And this is what this country stood for. And well, I want to say stands, but that's to be seen. Stands for, you have the freedom. The freedom of religion was the freedom to be who you want to be. If you were mixed race, stand and be proud. But when they saw all the enslavement camps, they couldn't buy that. So they went through this whole thing of hating all century, hating black Africans, hating the Mormons, because they got the devil in them, and the devil and the devil and the devil and the devil. And then they kept marrying each other, having babies with each other, because they didn't want the devil to pop up. They didn't want the devil to pop up. So let's go back and get your European history. Not the Brigham Young bullshit and all your Mormon tainted bullshit. But go back and get the true history of your German people. And you'll say, oh yeah, they invited us. Oh yeah. Ha ha. I tell you. Let's go back to enslavement. So no, it's not a far stretch that they would try to enslave us. 2025 is right there. Right there. And so is that orange shit stain. Right there. And them German people right there. And they'll do it. I don't know why you think mankind is to be worked for free while you sit back and do nothing but get fat and make up your currency. And African Americans, I done told you, these Germans go back and forth all the time. They do not acknowledge us as a people. They don't. Because African is in them and they will not acknowledge it within them, so they will not acknowledge outside of themselves. So yes, they will enslave us. Try, bitches. Try. Because that's the bullshit. So she said, no, 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 there is no, there's no inbreeding. See, they say we have that Mormon look, but there's not, because the genealogy. Let me tell you what that Mormon genealogy has done. Y'all take y'all dumbass and give y'all blood to them if you want to. They renaming it all kind of shit because they don't want to be connected to the African. So instead of looking at their blood and pulling out that African root, they won't. They won't. It's just a little bit. But they won't. And the few that they do pull out, they call it something totally different. No connection to Africa. None. So she was talking about her German and European, but she don't know. They've been fighting each other over having black blood for a long time. Proving who has the least amount of black blood. Fucking African, you wouldn't be here if you didn't have any African in you. Sustain your whole life. It sustains your whole life. You couldn't be here if not for them. Us. So yes, they will enslave us. They will step on us because they do not acknowledge us. Because to acknowledge us would have to be, they would have to acknowledge the African in them. And they are not doing that. They're the race of a megalomaniac. That's what they taught me. I ain't never met, I don't know nothing about no Adolf. They didn't say he came from America. But Adolf said the perfect race looks like Mormons. Now Adolf got that from his father, his father, his father's father, and the uncle came to America with the same bullshit. So yes, everything that's in 2025 they will do. They will do it. They ain't gonna do it to me. Because I'm going out fighting. No, I'ma hit, when that punch throw everything I do, I'ma have the power of at least 100 ancestors behind me, honey. Anything I do will be 100 times more. Because I ain't never accept that bullshit. That's why we saw them right away. We saw them coming through the Congress. We saw them coming through the Senate. African Americans know when people hate Africans, and Africans know too. You think you just gonna hate us and we ain't gonna know? La 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 la. They detest Africans. And that's what that grandfather said. Well, no, and they were. Didn't you just say last week, a week before last, about Mormons saying that Dark people are dark because of sin, and that's why y'all don't have nothing to do with them. Y'all only deal with Mormons. That's incest. You're all related. And that's who's backing that orange shit stain. That's who's backing the man who goes on a TV show, a popular TV show, and they have to put a wee pad under him on the couch. Now you say, why would they want him? Because he hates black Africans, African Americans. And as long as he hates us, they love him. I'm telling you, these folks, believe them. Y'all know I look at a lot of true crime. And in the true crime world, they say, I have to go a little like, we're going to have to come from another angle. Who I had to cut the ancestors off. Hold on, we got to address this with something else. When someone says they are going to unlife you, take your life, punch you across the room, in true crime, they don't believe it. They always say, oh, he said it 100 times he was going to do it, but we didn't believe him. Or she said all the time she was going to do that, but he didn't believe her. And then because I'm watching true crime, you know what happens to them. They're not there anymore. They're online. They are unlived. I believe them. 2025 said they were going to wipe out any trace of how we got here. That tells you how they feel about us. No history. I went through that already. I went through it. How did I get here? Elementary school. Where did I come from? They wouldn't say. But they say, oh, you're Italian, and then Italian, and then and Irish, and then this, and then this, and then that, and I'm like, that's what black people from. We say Negro. That's where Negroes from. They changed the conversation. I already went through that shit. Right here in New York. I already went through that bullshit. No. So when they used to ask me that question, I used to say, I ain't gonna be a slave no more. And I will fight to my last breath. And if I'm throwing stones at you, and y'all get me back, by not moving my videos or whatever, put me in this category because I said this, and I'm talking about, fine. It's been done all my damn life. But that ain't gonna stop me from speaking the truth. So, yeah, y'all. And it ain't gonna stop me from coming on here exercising. Because I feel good on the inside. All the way good. And once this election is over, and we see where we stand, and we're still going to be exercising, because my goal is to be walking erect. Strong back, strong legs. And if you see how my body, if you look at the videos and me exercising, you'll see how that stomach weight is going into my thighs and legs. That's how weight moves. And that's what the pain leg is for. The fat moving down. Remember? You see, old people, they got a body sitting on top and then things that look like legs underneath, but you wonder how those legs can carry that body, because this is where all the fat is. But once you start moving the fat down, it goes into your thighs, down to your calves, and you keep walking, sweating the water out, exercising, loving your body, and yeah, that's how we do it. But when asked that question, I said no. There's no chance that I would ever be a slave or enslaved. No. No. Not because somebody else doing it to me. You know? Here we go, y'all. Oh, yes. We're here, y'all. 25 minutes. Yes. Oh, I feel so good. You know, the whole process is to get blood and oxygen up here. Blood and oxygen right up there. And that's what the walking is for. So, but as I said, I'm throwing stones. And I don't own a satellite. John, and I always talk about business. I wish we had, not Black Planet, that I don't know what the hell that is, but I wish we had a social media, and if anybody knows, where you can talk truth when it comes to African Americans and us being on this penal colony, they will agree. And that's another thing they don't like. They don't like me to call it penal colony, because it's their sanctuary. Yeah, you mixed races was running out of Europe over here. Y'all call for religious freedom, but all your religions are African based. Ooh, y'all. Ooh. I don't think I could go through this. If I was young, I'd be like, wow. Now that I'm 30, I'd be like, oh man, I'm 30, I gotta choose between life or enslavement now at 30. But I am 66 and I'm looking at, you know, hitting that exit door or enslavement. I'm going for the exit door. I'm gonna try to take as many with me through the exit. But I'm going for the exit door. Playing around with these folks. They're haters. They hate. Over there supposed to be controlling Germany. Supposed to be controlling Germany and the German government. And here you are, the German government, all up in us. Trying to unlife us. Trying to take away democracy. Trying to get them ovens going back. But y'all don't want to hear me talk, because I'm not USDA. I call USDA when you have a degree. Then they say, well, yes, she believes those lies. Because all it is a lie. And then someone comes behind that lie and say, oh no, this lie is legit. And then someone else comes behind the lie and say, oh yeah, he says it didn't. But it's still a lie. Squeeze your gut. History is tuck in your gut. Squeeze your gut, tuck in your elbow, neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Squeeze your gut, tuck in your elbow, neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I hope I did that 10 right. Squeeze your gut. Tuck in your elbow. Neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then our last one. Squeeze your gut. Tuck in your elbow. Neither up nor down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1 for good luck. Now, I gotta tell y'all, if y'all comment on my shorts I put out and I don't comment back, it's because I'm throwing rocks and rocks is being thrown back at me. So, nothing is basically moving on mine. So that happens. I'm throwing rocks. That's how they throw rocks back at me. So I'm not gonna comment. If you did see anything, if you already, you see, it's when I look at it and I see what they're doing that I feel I'm injured. But as long as I don't look at it, then I know I'm throwing rocks and they throwing rocks back at me. But I do see when I put my uploads that y'all subscribe. I don't get it in the email anymore. I don't get any of those things. I used to. But when the rock throwing started, but as the, what would you do if you say, I said, I will not be one. So, do what you gotta do. I don't own the satellite, and I ain't got a social media platform, because if I did own one, it would be different. We would have political parties. We would have... Anyway, this is the part where you say, tell Granny Luck what you want. But, that ain't gonna happen. But John says, we just, $1.50, tell Granny Luck what you want, and I'll say, hey, so-and-so, Patricia wants to get a new car, and she's going for a down payment. I'll say, look, Patricia. But we don't have that because we're in rock throwing. And as little as I am, hey, John, another successful walk with me and you. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, John. Yes. Great moderator. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you. Good weekend. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, John. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.